Our Temporal Forces metagame seems to be shaping up in Japan quite well, and in this video, I'm going to be covering over the new Gouging Fire EX deck, something that I don't feel like a lot of people have covered on YouTube yet. That being said, I think this deck's going to be awesome when it comes out in the next couple of weeks in North America and elsewhere in the world, and I'm really excited to show you the deck list that I worked on. Again, all these are really early deck lists, so things might change in the future, but we do regularly update them for our Patreon members. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/TSSwin. That being said, let's jump into this deck list and see exactly what we got popping. So here we have it, Gouging Fire EX, the deck list. Now, this deck list should also be available in the description, so you can copy and paste into Limitless Tabletop or anything. Shout out to Justin Basil for the translations of these cards. This deck kind of feels like it's Fire-type Roaring Moon in a good way. And that's really where I've drawn a lot of inspiration from. We have big 260 damage. We can increase that with Moltres to hit important numbers. And anything else that's really bigger than that, we can take out with Iron Leaves because they're likely a Charizard in this format, being weak to Grass type. The rest of the core of this build focuses on getting out our Pokemon really quickly, attaching energies with Professor Sada's Vitality, and kind of going through an onslaught of punch after punch after punch. I think that's really where I want this deck to be at, is just aggressive fire type, ancient box kind of deck. And we have it, and you might have some questions, so I'm going to go over most of the cards individually. Let me jump into the strategy portion of this deck. So kicking things off, Gouging Fire EX, looking real similar to Roaring Moon, except it's fire type. 230 HP means that it's pretty bulky, and this list does play Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. You can see it has that Ancient badge in the top right, giving us the access to just like 290 HP Pokemon, and we're kind of bringing it back to the Unbroken Bonds days where we had Reshiram and Charizard EX or Reshizard, and we are just big fire type attacking Pokemon. Attack, 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 attack. So Explosive Fire is really our main attack. If you miss it, you have Heat Blast to do 60, which is alright. So it gives us a mid-range attack at Heat Blast. Explosive Fire does 260, and it can't use Explosive Fire again until it leaves the active spot. So if you switch out of it, so switch into a Mew, free retreat back, attack again. 260 is enough to knock out pretty much every Roaring Moon, Miraidon, Chen Pao, and with the other big decks being in this format being Tina V-Star, Arc V-Star, stuff like that, being able to knock them out with Moltres from the Pokemon Go set. So you could actually layer it up by doing +10 with your first Moltres, +10 with your other Moltres. You can swing for 280 damage. Now, right now we have a Prime Catcher in this deck. I could easily see us replacing this for a copy of Maximum Belt to knock out Charizard with the Gouging Fire, Moltres, Maximum Belt combo. If that doesn't work out, it does not work out. We'll have to see how it all plays out, but right now I like the Prime Catcher so we can be very aggressive and knock out some 2 prize card Pokemon. So the Moltres that we have, the first one is just going to increase the damage output. The next one that we have has its attack that does 20 plus 70 damage if it has damage counters. Well, we can get those damage counters loaded on with Magma Basin. And Magma Basin is going to be part of the way that we power up this deck, so we can have Magma Basin attach. We also have Professor Sada's Vitality. So we kind of have that 1, 2, 3. So attach, Professor Sada's Vitality, Magma Basin. We even have a couple Energy Switch in here to make sure our Pokemon are flowing. Squawkabilly, Mew, and Leafeon all really give us the opportunity to either pitch and draw cards with Squawkabilly, search our deck for that Sada or game-winning boss. Mew can be powered up by manual attachments, Energy Switch, and it's generally good to draw cards, especially when these decks run low in the late game. It's kind of that overall all-encompassing card. So those are really our 3 setups. Radiant Greninja also would be part of that category, more and more that I'm looking at it. Pitching our energies so we can get them back with Magma Basin, so we can get them back with Professor Sada's Vitality. There's 2 other Pokemon here. We have Iron Leaves EX, and you might be like, okay, Zach, this is a future Pokemon. You cannot power it up with Sada's Vitality. But if you use its rapid vernier attack or ability, when you play it from its bench onto the bench from your hand, it moves into the active and grabs up to 3 or whatever energies you want, but it can grab 3. So if you use Sada and go grass on your Pokemon and put fire, it just had grass onto your Gouging Fire because it takes fire colorless. We can move those energies to Iron Leaves and just knock something out for 180. That could be a Charizard EX getting hit for 360. Iron Leafs EX is going to be an incredibly important card in this format. And after playing in a Win-A-Box in the Northern Ontario GTA Plus kind of area, I decided that Iron Leafs EX is likely going to be part of my EUIC deck. It seems incredibly important in this format. I really wouldn't want to play a deck without it. So that being said, I think it fits right in here. Energy Acceleration plus Rapid Vernier means that you could Prismatic Edge out of nowhere. Entei V is really more of a, hey, I know I'm not going to really be able to hit the Sadas this turn, but I do have a mid-range attacker that might be able to score a knockout kind of vibe. Drawing +1 could also be cool, and it doesn't make sense to necessarily play 4 Gouging Fire when we could slightly differentiate to an attack that costs 2. Now, Sada's is part of our Energy Acceleration. Boss and Prime Catcher allow us to bring up whatever we really want to knock out. And Iono is really like one of those cards where sometimes you just have too much stuff going on in your hand, and you need to either disrupt your opponent, you need to put cards back at the bottom of your deck so you're not necessarily like holding on to a billion cards. And it seems relatively like normal. I could see it being a Judge, I could see it being a handful of other cards, but typical draw supporter, if we need one, being able to just like put important resource at the bottom sounds great. Nest Ball, Ultra Ball are really there to help us set up, search out our Pokemon. We go with 4 Ultra Balls because we want to discard energies, so we could access Magma Basin, Professor Sada's Vitality, etc. Trekking Shoes, again, similar to Ultra Ball and Radiant Greninja, we need to discard cards and energies. Same thing with Earthen Vessel. Like, a lot of these cards have a lot of synergy with this deck. We need to discard energies and other useless cards, but mainly energies so we can get them back with Magma Basin, Professor Sada's Vitality. Switch Cart gives us an opportunity to get in and out of the active because Gouging Fire has 2 retreat costs, and its Explosive Fire says that we cannot use Explosive Fire again until it leaves the active spots. So we can't just sit there in the active and go 260, 260, 260. We have to find a way in and out of it. So I think a few switching cards is quite advantageous, also giving us opportunities to Magma Basin the correct Pokemon if we have something in the active. Energy Switch kind of ties some loose ends if we miss a Magma Basin and we just go Sada, Energy Switch 1, manually attach from our hands. Super Rod allows us to get back some of our cards in case anything gets knocked out or opponent targets a Moltres, so we can't get a knockout. And Forest Seal Stone really giving us that opportunity, especially with the Entei V, to search out whatever we want. We also have the Lumineon, but the Entei really like added that card into the deck, giving us a lot of opportunities. The rest are really going to be energies or cards that we've already covered. And overall, I think that this deck should just be relatively consistent fire beatdown deck. Is it the perfect list? No. Is it a solid list that's probably like 90% there? Yeah, 100%. And I think that's really where the appeal of these videos are. It's just like, I need to have something where I have a list that looks good because I've been building Pokemon deck lists now for over 20 years from a competitive standpoint. Having a list like this allows me to kind of nitpick and look at it all day on a Discord screen and be like, I do not like this card, this is what we're changing it to, or run a few games with my friends at Pokemon League and decide that we want to have some things. So I think that this is a great starting point. Let me close things out for this Gouging Fire list. And that's what we got going on for this deck profile video today. Hopefully soon we're going to be able to get into some kind of deck coverage. I know that both PJ and I and a few other Shuffle Squad members, like, I've been actively building these decks, and I know that like this is like whatever, but I've been building these decks in real life. We want to play some tabletop webcam games once we get a chance. That being said, I got a trip to Costa Rica coming up, and I just need to kind of mentally de-stress, get ready for the latter half of the season. I'm sure everything is going to be fantastic coverage-wise, though. And if I can get a couple games in there before I leave, it's going to be fantastic. If not, we'll definitely get some games when I come back. I think there's just a lot of really cool stuff in this set, and I want to make sure that everyone's as prepared for EUIC, Orlando, whatever events you got coming up, whether it's a League Challenge, League Cup. And that's really the goal of this channel, and where it really started off when it was my sole channel, right? Is we wanted to make sure that everyone could go to this channel, pick up a deck list, have some better understanding of it to kind of grow as a competitive player. And that's really where I want the channel to continue to be as we go forward. If you want to help support that, and I mean, supporting that could be just watching these videos, like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. I mean, we're close to 20,000. It wouldn't be without any of you. Double check to see if you're subscribed, because there's a lot of people that think they're subscribed. They're not subscribed. It's free. Click that button right there. You can check out our sponsors at PTCGL Store, Atlas Collectibles, Kayfabe, Ultimate Guard, picking up sleeves, picking up anything, right? Like, I don't know. I like holding the stuff because I actually believe in it. Like, buy some Katana sleeves from Ultimate Guard, buy some code cards from PTCGL Store, pick up some Temporal Forces pre-orders from Kayfabe or Atlas or whatever other cards you need. Those would be fantastic. And we have our Patreon at patreon.com/TSSwin. You could totally get some more info there. I have lists on lists. If you're looking for anything more than that, I do offer one-on-one coaching on Metafy at metafy.gg/adzaclissage. All these links are available in the description with discounts, by the way, so that's really where I want to make sure that everyone has access to it. Beyond that, I'm just going to be chilling, vibing out before I'm on vacay, so hope everyone enjoys the videos, and stay tuned for more great content. Peace out, and have a great one. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. Hey trainers, tired of having too many cards lying around? I know that feeling, and I know what a hassle it is to try and sell those cards. But selling bulk is now easier than ever with TCG Bulk. Find tons of potential buyers in a single place. You just download the app, look for the best buyer near you, and carefully pack your bulk, ship it, and you get paid. It really is that simple. Turn the cards you don't want into the cards you absolutely need for your next deck. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.